So I wanted to compare two very popular moisture absorbers, two different brands. So we have the VacuPlus. This is the 2-pound, I guess, weight collection, which is pretty hefty. You can see it's like as big as my head. And then I have the Moismile, I think is how you say it, the hanging bags. I have always used moisture absorbers, specifically in like the bathroom, laundry room, places where like naturally there's a little more moisture in the air. I also have a guest suite that sometimes I feel like people don't always turn the fan on when they shower or those types of things. So having these are just a little bit of peace of mind so that moisture gets removed and there's no issues with excess moisture. When it comes to comparing these, obviously they're different. This is a hanging bag. You can see there's quite a bit of water in here. I had this actually in my bathroom, and then this one's just kind of a, you just set it on a shelf or somewhere and it doesn't hang. I think there's pros and cons to these, I think, depending what you're looking for, right? This is perfect. You could put it in a closet, hang it up somewhere. I actually did have this hanging in the bathroom. It was like off of a rack that I had, and it was like placed behind it just because, I mean, now that it has water, you can see it was pretty narrow, even if it was sitting like that. This is pretty thin, so you can like hang this behind things and whatnot. Obviously it doesn't collect as much water as like this big guy because it needs to, one, the size of it, but support when it's hanging. So if you have an area where you don't want to replace it as often, or you don't have access to replace it, for example, like in my guest suite, like if someone's there, I'm not going to be like, oh, I need to replace this 24/7. So I think this bigger guy might be nicer just because it's going to be sitting there, and I don't really have to think about it. Where something like this, if you have access to it and or it's a smaller space, you like it hanging, I would go for this one. But yeah, like I said, I've been using this like style of moisture absorber for years and years. Comes really in handy, and it's nice that there's two different versions. And again, I've had great experiences with both of these brands. So I think you can't really go wrong. It's going to be more of a preference thing of what you're looking for and what you want accomplished.